Okay, we are doing Boyz missions. This is Lost Artifact, so you can find it online. This is, of course, Carlos, blah, 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 blah. Alright, it's going to be corner deployment. I'll show it online, but basically, whatever corner he chooses that's 18 inches up, 18 inches over, making a line, that's what he's doing now. This is a little bit strange. At the beginning of each of our turns, we're going to deep strike 3d6 from the center of the table. 2 different objectives. There's going to be a total of 4 objectives, and in the shooting phase, units are trying to determine if the lost artifact is there. There's several rules. I think the strategy on this was going to be camp 1 because you get a +1 for each additional time that the markers search. Once the lost artifact is uncovered, you fight over it. That's the primary objective. Secondary is kill points, tertiary is control as much terrain as possible, any unit can control terrain. So this is going to be a rather interesting little fight here. We'll see what happens. Okay, here's Carlos's setup, and yeah, what a miserable prick. He's got 2 librarians with null zones, so there's no real chance of me having a lucky turn where he fails. He's also got a big old squad of Thunderhammers, 3 missile launcher Devastator squads, and you can pretty much see the rest. He's got 3 tactical squads divided into 5-man squads, combat squadded, and he's grabbed his corner, so we're going to deep strike. The funny thing is, in hindsight, I believe that I should have gone ahead and taken the first turn and put him in this corner, because this would have been an easier corner for me to tackle. As it is, I gave him, you know, one of the better little fire bases there, so I need to pay closer attention. That's what these practice games are for. Alright, here we go. Top 1. Yes. Okay, so he deep struck the markers. That's where they landed. He moved out his army. And that Terminator check, that is not the lost artifact, and we're going into the bottom of 2. We're going to see if I get my preferred drop. Okay, I did not get my preferred drop. I do tend to split them fairly evenly. Then I ended up losing my unit of fiends on the drop. So I felt like I had to drop fairly aggressively and give him something to worry about. So give my guys time to try to find the lost artifact. So we're going to see just how much he punishes me for that. This is going into top of 2. Okay, it was as ugly as everybody knew it was going to be. Ultimately, shooting, charge, 2 dead demon princes, 1 very lucky herald who doesn't feel very lucky, surrounded by an entire army and in combat with a librarian. You know, I directed all of my shots at the librarian over here from the demon prince, and turns out he bought the son of a bitch a storm shield. Just did not expect that. A librarian with a storm shield. I'm here to tell you it works. So we're going into bottom of 2. Bottom of 2, I had 2 fiends and 2 pink horror units come in. I managed to shake the land speeder over there. That rhino that's all the way back on the left, that's immobilized. The rhino that's all the way back in the middle there, that's immobilized. I didn't mention that before. So anyway, luckily I will not have to suffer the flame template on this unit. Got the pink horrors there, the big unit of pink horrors, which will be replaced with actual pink horror models by the time of the boys. They're blocking for the fiends. I'm making notes. I've learned so much about this mission already, and no, I'm not going to share. You'll have to wait until after the tournament. Anyway, let's go into top of 3. Okay, that was the top of 3, and both of us made minor mistakes. My plague bearers here ended up going to ground because he was shooting at me with missile launchers, which are AP3, so I could have taken my feel no pain anyway. But for some reason I went to ground so that I could get a better cover save, and I won't be able to check that token. Luckily, over here, he ended up moving his rhino so that I wouldn't hit him automatically. Basically, he wanted me to hit on a 4 better if I charged him with the fiends. And then in the heat of things, he ended up shooting that unit, so he's not going to be able to check that token. Luckily, when he checked this token over here, it didn't come up for him. So again, I'm still in the game because I need this to come up my way. I've got to find the lost artifact and hope it's corn poo. So let's see what happens. We're going into bottom of 3. Oh wait, the bottom of 3, and it is a game again. Obviously, I've sacrificed a lot in the hopes that I could keep the game on this side of the board. And luckily, I rolled a 6. That is the artifact. I think it's corn poo. Don't ask. It's just what it is. What else would Chaos go for? It's sacred, I'm sure. All right, I did what I did. I ran up. I destroyed stuff. I managed to destroy the land speeder. I also destroyed this rhino here, and I set it up so I could hunker behind it and try to grab cover saves from the missiles I know were coming. I ended up charging with the horrors just to block another avenue of shooting at my fiends there. But Payback is a bitch, and he's got 2 Terminators and a big old Thunderhammer squad just going to barrel down on me. So we're going into the second half of the game. Let's see what happens. Carlos, do you have got any comments?
No.
All right, top of 4 coming up. Okay, top of 4. Let's pan back. Shooting, lots of charging into the Fiends. The Fiends win combat and decimate his Terminators.
Shut up! I was wrong. I'm going to text message somebody else because I don't want to pay attention.
And then we hit and ran over here to take out this other unit of Terminators. Over here, shooting into the Pink Horror Squad, he attacked and assaulted the Pink Horror Squad and then went into the cover, hoping it'll protect him against breath, which it won't. The cool thing in this round, though, was that he rolled a 6 and a 6 for starting the 2 Rhinos. That was pretty awesome, Carlos. All right. Bottom of 4 coming up. Okay, that was bottom of 4. Things didn't go quite as well as I wanted. For rolling 2 dice to try to get out of the train over here, I rolled 1 and 1, and then on the run, I rolled a 1. So these Fiends decided that they were not getting out of the terrain, but I can see how that could be advantageous later. Anyway, ultimately, through shooting from the Pink Horrors, the Terminator is by himself. But he's got a Storm Shield and a bad attitude, so he can still do some dirt. Over here, the Fiends, you know, it is what it is. I didn't completely destroy the unit, but I'm as safe in close combat as I am anywhere else, so we'll just be glad that we didn't lose worse. Over here, yeah, it's a push. So we're going into the top of 5. Any words there, Carlos?
No, just kind of figuring out where I need to be.
Okay, top of 5 is come and gone, and Mighty Carlos has done everything he can to try to secure victory. Will it be enough? Will random game length go on? Okay, that Rhino charges across, blows smoke. Ultimately over here in the ruins, it's a big old whiffo combat. I ended up losing. I was swinging a lot of dice and, yeah, just hitting a lot of air. But those Marines, you know, nobody makes fun of their yellow armor. Over there, the land speeder could not contest because it could not touch it. However, the Terminator ended up charging into those Pink Horrors and killing them, consolidating on it. If the game were to end now, he'd be winning. Hopefully I can kill him in bottom of 5. Over here, it was yet another whiff combat. It was a push, so I ended up trying to run out of combat so that I could charge back in or something. Nah, it didn't happen, so hopefully we'll finish them off in the bottom of 5. Any comments there, Carlos?
Roll low for me, buddy.
Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, this bears talking about. I have to control, and by control I mean touch that counter with a troop model to win the game. So killing the Terminator Librarian isn't difficult. Killing the Terminator Librarian and having a troop on it is something to think about. Had I just run in there with the Fiends, I could have, you know, slaughtered those models, but luckily I remembered, and so I'm moving up so that the Horrors will assist with the charge. Obviously the Fiends will do the heavy lifting, but we need to get in there. Okay, that was the bottom of 5, and that's what we like to call unfreaking believable. Over here, I put the majority of my hits into the Terminator Librarian because sticking was not a problem. Sticking is good. So that's ultimately what happened, and that's nice, yes. Over here, however, I put the majority into this Terminator Librarian who only had 1 wound left because he needed to die. He's sitting on my objective contesting it. As you can see, he's still sitting there. Who cares about the rest of it? He's still sitting there. Alright, Carlos, let's see if the game continues. This is random game length. And the game continues. We're going into top of 6. Okay, that was the top of 6, and things went my way, and the Mighty Carlos has conceded. It is late, and, you know, that's ultimately what makes the difference there. I've got enough to stop him. This model, even if it does get a next turn, isn't going to be able to tank shock me off the objective. And, you know, that's assuming it even goes to another turn, in which case I've got 2 Fiends protecting my backfield. So it was a freaking awesome game. Any comments there, Carlos?
No, I'd like to have gone a little closer with the Thunderhammer Terminators, but that's just them's the rules.
Yeah. All right, we'll be discussing this game, I think, afterwards. I don't want to spend too much time on video, so I'll probably put some text. We want to get this battle report under 10 minutes. So anyway, we're outie. Talk to you later.